our sister, and we love her and care for her and want the best for her.
But that's true for Joe Marie also.
Yeah, yes.
Look, we have totally different trainings.
Mm-hmm.
And so my training is in how do you process a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my whole time out life was.
Mm-hmm.
Was how do you take a group of people and help them to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the gathering is going to be.
Yes.
So, but whereas Joe Marie is responsible for this building. So anyway, so.
Lots of love.
Well, and I have to be loving to Amber and to Joe Marie and to Shannon.
Thank you.
As hard as that would be. Good morning.
Oh, we got such a big crowd, I can't find a place to sit.
Now, I have,
So anyway, you're gonna start us at 9, right? Or you've already got us up?
Yeah, we're in.
And that's okay.
You wanna hear the chatter?
Over the video camera on your screen,
Now to do that, you have to get all those voices.
and then just to the right, there's like a little carrot.
Hopefully, come any minute, they'll mute everybody.
Click on that
Which they
one.
didn't do yesterday.
There was a lot of chatter,
It
and I
says
told
10
them,
minutes.
we sent
Next
a lot of
video?
comments about that.
Yeah.
The thing that they do
Oh wait, wrong, wrong.
is,
I do see your shadow. I can turn that off if you want to.
what the Nix company does is leave the stage mic on the whole time. It's their practice to do that, because they don't know when someone's gonna come up and make an announcement. So everybody at the tables close by, and that's what that was, they weren't wanting to shut it off.
Well, they also, the camera people who were there, I don't think would be the directors. You know, when they were lining up out in the hallway, the camera should be able to show them all
I
day.
know we missed the whole procession.
Right, so,
I said, there's so many people here.
this was just another day.
I had a hard time finding a place to sit.
We are, we have to continue to learn. How to communication through by technology. And it's a whole different world.
Well, let's see, today's panel discussion.
So, anyway, my big thing yesterday, when we had this long talk, it was Tuesday night.
Well,
It
I
wasn't a
worked
talk, she was
all
reading.
morning, I didn't get home until
But she
5
was
to
reading
1,
to
so I
us
just
tonight,
read the afternoon.
just on her own, and reading it very comfortably. Her language is German. And she had chatted with us.
Did you work on that last
Yes,
after,
well,
They would have known, yeah, she spoke very well.
and I haven't done,
oh,
read, I mean, most of the stuff I've done, like,
How good is my school in German?
She got none.
Oh,
In French. 'Cause I
but
have-
I wanted
so
to
who
use
is
it.
this?
I probably could have said
We don't use it.
yeah,
Here we go, we're a minute away.
thing, but then I thought, no, if we're gonna be giving the
And
schools
Diana?
something that was
Okay, so they're still getting people set.
They are, I'm sure they won't start right on the button.
like the letter, this is for him. And then this is, all the communities that are, so you better put
yeah.
that on the back of the.
Well,
That was
together.
So hopefully I'll be back.
Helen Jean?
So, oh, Ellen,
I thought you were saying Helen Jean, I thought,
oh,
yeah, okay, yeah.
the next big build is at 1:30.
Hello there,
Hello,
Sharon.
good morning, good morning.
So they can't get the prayer, is that it? We're not gonna get the prayer?
We were hoping so.
There's a big
We're
truck.
tuned in, we're waiting.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
good morning.
Sorry. How's it, Ellen Jean?
Very bad. She's
Very
coughing
hurting.
and coughing. She coughed all night, hardly slept.
We are getting ready to start, so I'm gonna ask if everyone can mute. If you don't know how to do that, I can help you as well.
Actually, she realized she got more hurt yesterday than she thought she did, of course.
Yeah, she's black and blue.
Oh, she's, those black and blue Marcellin lines are there all the time.
Oh.
That's how she is. That's how she gets to be 90.
91.
We each get to be 90 in different ways. And my 90ness is all up here, although my body is pretty shaky also.
Well,
Right. So this might be the new beginning now.
My sister married Delbert 18, and they are getting started with saying we're on Zoom down here, so if you want to come back down, sorry about that. Ever changing schedule. Thank you, bye.
Does anything bother you about yesterday when I sat here and I looked at it and I thought, the what? The T is,
Oh,
does that look like an
oh,
L?
it was a cross up on top.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that until you pointed it out.
I just right away yesterday I thought, what is? Later that good morning. Later I thought, oh, that's supposed to be a T.
Gee. And I just read it as gathering and didn't notice
Yeah.
the crossbar on. That's funny because if they're pulling off of something, the inside should be there. I mean, it's not hand done.
Yeah.
Do they?
my mark was kind of pretty.
I did some of it.
Me too. Well, I just wanted to see what they're doing for them. I thought this is sitting here for an hour and a half, I don't know.
So the live screen, the camera could be bumped over a little to the left. Is there a way that you could talk me through
Maybe
that?
half over before we get connected.
Maybe they haven't started yesterday. It didn't start on time.
No? Okay.
Until you tell these people to find their seats, they keep on talking.
That's true. She has some kind of cough,
Oh, I see
but
this.
her lungs are clear. But she's coughing and coughing and
Remember,
Oh, yeah.
Carla Hebner did that too.
Thank you, Ted.
For a while back.
Here we go.
She was
That looks good.
coughing and
Thank
coughing.
you so much.
how did she get rid of
I don't know.
They may not be sending us the prayer. I don't know
Really?
where Amber disappeared
Yeah,
to now.
She's in the back room.
Right here, sister.
And maybe they're not sending you the prayer.
I know.
They aren't, right?
Right. I'll send a message out, see what they say. But the, I don't know if it was Michelle with Nick said they were getting started any moment.
Oh,
They would start at any moment?
Right.
Okay. All right.
I think that they should aim a camera at the big room there,
Oh,
as well as the
Sandra.
speakers, so we can see people in the room.
You tell them, you tell them. Yeah.
That would be nice.
So, did they tell us yesterday that
Sarah
Sarah
got a lot of empty chairs.
and master ceremonies? Is that
This
for
is
either?
Echoes again, and my son.
Yeah.
Good
morning, everyone.
good morning.
I thought Sandra said that when she was introducing us.
I said, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
I would like to turn my phone up.
Is that too loud? No, okay.
Is there any way we can have a camera pointed at the room so we
I'm
can
working.
see who's
Thanks
in
for
there
being
as
working
well as
on your
on the
show.
speaker?
Thank you.
It's taken a long time, but by winter it'll be coming.
You take however long.
Hey, welcome, Teresa Tegler. I think I recognized your voice. There are actually about 92 of us on Zoom plus, because some of those are large groups. But glad to hear you this morning.
There she is.
Do you see this?
Amber,
Can't hear Sandra.
Okay, I'm messaging Michelle now.
Our stories.
Oh, there she goes.
Sister Addie Lorraine, can you share a story about courageously living by daring to love?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just asking.
I'm sorry,
Oh, you don't have your ears in.
I have my ears in, but I have to hear. What are you saying?
What I'm saying was, we're trying to make copies of the letter from our
I don't know anything about this.
This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story. This is my song. Well, this is part of my story. This is a very small part of my story, but it's an important part of my story that I come to share with you today. 48 years I've been with the school system of Notre Dame. 48 years. 48 years. And I'm still here, and I ain't going nowhere. So, many of you know a lot of my story, but some of my story you don't know. And the vignettes I share with you today certainly don't address the whole of my story,
Amber, can you make her louder?
but they are addressing a few of the points that I think we need to hear as we grapple with interculturality coming from our general chapter directional statement. We have gone from calling ourselves an international congregation, that's what we were when I entered. Then we called ourselves multicultural, meaning a lot of cultures in the room all together. And now we're calling ourselves intercultural. Well, newsflash, we are not intercultural. We're just not. We're not there. Just a little context. I wasn't going to say this part, but I think you might need to know it. I grew up in a multi-generational home in a segregated, racist USA at the beginning of the civil rights movement. I was born in '49, in a time before black people could vote. I went to segregated schools, a Catholic one to begin with, and then a public school where we had no books, or at least when we got books, they were outdated and had names of white children in the front, meaning that they had been outdated from that school and were scheduled for the waste bin. folks coming from the other side of town. Our teachers in our church Sunday schools took up the slack for what the public school lacked. At black churches and black public schools, we learned our history. We learned black history. We learned about people who contributed to the community, to the church, to the history, who had gone before us, role models that we were to follow. We learned to be bicultural. That is, we learned how to act outside the black community when we were among white people, speaking well, being clear in our enunciation, presenting ourselves well, paying attention to protocol. And we learned how to act within the black community. Don't bring that stuff in here. That's for out there. Honor your elders. Respect one another. Represent the community well. Develop your creative talents and use them for the good of the whole. It was a sort of black religion and the arts kind of curriculum, so to speak. We learned black history and contributions of local leaders and what we should become as we grew in age, wisdom, and grace. I came to SSND without knowing one SSND, though I did sit next to one at a diocesan meeting, and I was very attracted to her because she had cute shoes.
Okay.
And I said, where did you get those shoes? And I think she told me about, then I was, yes, thank you very much. They want me to slow down because what they have is not, what I'm saying is not on their paper. So, the cute shoe lady was a school sister of Notre Dame. And we were at a workshop for leaders who would go back to their parishes to teach about the documents of Vatican II. I was also, at that time, a popular Bible study teacher for Catholics new to the charismatic renewal, and I actually did better there than I did last night at the Bible Fuse. And I met many SSNDs at my Bible study classes that usually had hundreds of people at them. And I didn't know they were school sisters, but they knew who I was. And at the time, I was a research chemist for chemical, working on several patents at that time. And God called me to SSND for a radical following of Jesus Christ. That's what I knew. That was the message I had, a radical following of Jesus Christ. And I will be with you. I came knowing no one. I stayed, not because of anyone, but because of the one who called me. For the first time, when I entered the mother house of the School Sisters of Notre Dame in Dallas, Texas, the parlors and the meeting rooms had pictures of our sisters in Africa and pictures of our sisters in Japan and many, many other places in the world. And in fact, there was a giant map downstairs in the throughway that had where we were around the world. I went, wow, this is us. This is who I am becoming a part of. We were international. And it had some big number of how many we were. I think it said something like 12,000 or something, I don't know. But it was a big number. My assumption, because of these little things, experiences, my assumption was that the racism, the prejudice, the contempt for black bodies and brown bodies and Native American bodies that existed outside would not be found inside because we were international. We were all over the world. We had many experiences. So it was clear that when we were where we were, that we would be able to dance with any culture. That was for out there. So imagine my shock or my surprise when a sister asked me, how does it feel to be a black person in this white community? I said, what? I actually had no idea what the question meant. So I said, okay, sister, I have never been asked that question before. I said, well, help me. Tell me how it feels to be a white person in this community so I can get some clues on how to answer you. And sister said to me, what? I've always been white. I said, oh, sister, I just got left this morning, so it's new for me. It was a beginning of white sisters struggling to deal with what it means for me to be here. It was a beginning that continued with questions like, why did you want to join a white order? Aren't there black orders? To which I replied, as long as I'm here, and all the while I'm here, this is not and will not be an all-white order. Other questions came later. Where are you from? I mean, before you were from Texas. From God? Well, where are your parents from? I said, Louisiana? No, before that. I just heard somebody say, oh my God, no, yeah, that's what I was saying too. I said, I think from God. And then some would tell me, oh, Addie, don't worry. My parents taught me to treat everyone equally. And no matter what their skin color. I said, oh, okay. I wonder if they equal meant that they went to school like kids went to school with no books like I did. But we never got into that conversation. I was sent to Mequon for my novitiate. And as I went on my way, I never really had anticipated the impact of dislocation that I would experience from moving my center where, yeah, I worked with white people all day, but I could go home to my safe space. But I no longer had that. I lived in a white space 24/7. Then even more disorienting was that move to Mequon. I didn't know a blade of grass. I didn't know a human. I didn't know a tree or a flower or a street. And I certainly didn't know the culture. And most of the people at Mequon had full habits on, modified but full habits. Some of the sisters coming in from outside had veils and suits. But that was very different from my green skirt, yellow skirt, brown skirt, and multicolored blouses, and no veil. But I was allowed, somebody recognized I need something, so I was allowed to go out to the monthly meetings of Black religious in Milwaukee, where I met Brian Massingale, who was also in formation at St. Francis. He probably needed some of the same stuff I needed, and so we were at the same meeting. And I met Sister Antona Ebo, Sister Callista Robinson, Brother Booker Ash, and so many others who helped keep us sane while we were in these white spaces. I was so often introduced as this. This is our Black novice from Dallas. And could they not see that I was Black? Or what difference did it make that I was Black? Why did they have to announce, this is our Black novice from Dallas? Why couldn't they just say, this is novice Addie Lorraine Walker? Well, I never got that. I remember going to the novice director saying how troubling this was for me, and she didn't know what to do. And so she said to me, well, Addie, what part of it do you not like? Being Black, being a novice, or being from Dallas? I said, oh no, I like all of it. And I realized I did like all of them. I just didn't like it being pointed out every day. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be accepted. But what I got was, I was forced to claim my own space. I was forced to claim and embrace who I am. When I returned to Dallas, I was sent to the Institute for Black Catholic Studies at Xavier University in New Orleans. That's where I met Thea Bowman, who became a lifelong friend. She continues, even in the afterlife, to be a lifelong friend for me. And I studied and worked with her at the Institute, becoming more and more self-aware of what it means to be a Black religious woman living with white religious women. It was she who encouraged me to apply for doctoral studies. I just wasn't interested, really. But she said, who will replace us in teaching? I said, I am doing what I do, and I like what I do. You teach, I work with the people in the parishes. However, she convinced me to go study. I applied anyway, and I was one of 3 people given a full scholarship to Boston College for 5 years. When I told one of the sisters that I had gotten this scholarship, I was wondering, could I accept it? One of the sisters said to me, the only reason you probably got that is because you're black. I was stunned. I never considered the fact that she might think I was not qualified. And I thought, is that what they think of me? Do they see me really? I continued to get comments that seemed to question my intelligence or qualifications. For example, oh, Addie, you are so articulate. Well, somebody with my education and my background, if I'm not articulate, shoot me somebody. I would get comments like, who helped you with your presentation? Who helped you with your talk? Who helped you? As other black women entered the congregation, I made it my responsibility to help make the space doable for them as well. But the common evidence of not seeing me kept coming forward, not remembering my name, not spelling my name correctly, not seeing me, or walking up to me saying, Shawnee, you know, it's nice to see you. And I began to just say, oh, thank you. Because I got tired of explaining, I am not Shawnee. We don't look alike. We don't talk alike. We don't even laugh alike. Or I get, oh, Vicki, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I said, really? Thank you for noticing me. Or I get Sandra. And even recently, somebody walked up to me and talked to me as if I was Sandra. Now, you know from the Bible feud last night how much we look alike. I don't mind looking like Sandra. I don't even mind having her talent and skill for the absurd. I'm just not Sandra. Do you see me? Do you see me? Do you see me? Will you ever see me? Will you stop expecting me to see you and know your name and how to spell your name and you not get me? Get me. And surely it's not everyone, and I know you know that. But to this day, the questions still come, showing me that we collectively do not get what racism is. I still get questions like, Addie, do you think I'm racist? Don't I treat you nicely, kindly? We let you in. How can we be racist? It tells me we don't get it. We don't realize what racism is. It's not a personal thing. We can be prejudiced, and some of us are. But when you ask me, am I racist? I said, well, tell me how you voted. And tell me why you voted that way. Racism is systemic. Our prejudices support it. One event that stands out in my mind is the many questions that came because the Black SS&Ds wanted to meet as a group. And once when we were meeting in Marshall Street, we chose to sit together at lunch. Sister after sister came up to ask us why we didn't mix with the other sisters. We didn't know each other, so we were trying to get to know each other, but we were asked, why don't we mix? We were there to mix with the other sisters. But if they had Jubilarians sitting together, nobody would say, why don't you mix? But because we were Black and we were wanting to be together, it was asked, why don't we mix? What exactly is the problem when we Black girls want to get together and have some safe Black space? Whose problem is it? On another occasion, when I was new to San Antonio, I went to a bank near my new ministry to cash a check because I needed cash. The first question the teller asked me, where did you get this check? I said, well, it's my check. They said, they called the manager over, then the guard or the policeman who was there. They made me fingerprint myself, and then called the sisters that they knew who were school sisters of Notre Dame teaching at St. Mary's. That was close by, to verify that I was a school sister of Notre Dame because I was Black and they didn't know any Black school sisters. I was horrified, but I stood my ground because I needed my money. I was horrified and I went home crying all the way. When I got into the house, the sisters asked me, Annie, what happened? What happened? What's the matter? I told them, and I said, and they said to me, oh, Addie, I can't believe that. Oh my God, I can't believe that. In this day and time, I can't believe it. I stared back at them and then I just went upstairs and slammed the door and closed myself in and stayed in my room until I could stomach coming out, looking at people who didn't acknowledge my experience. And that when I walked out the door, it was different than when they walked out the door. Why don't we realize the experience of other cultures all around us? It's not that they're new to us. Black people are not new to us. Why do you say to me, when I look at you, I don't see color? What's wrong with you? Does that mean you don't see my history, my experiences, that I am more vulnerable and in danger when we walk out the door together? Don't you realize I could also be picked up by ICE? As I watched again and again the murder of George Floyd, I was first pained. Seemingly all I had worked for, all I had done to bridge the gap, between Black communities and white communities. Everything I had worked for was for naught. I felt kicked in the stomach. I felt like giving up 50 years of my life down the train. Then I was shocked and saddened by the fact that none of you called me to see how I was, of what was the impact of what was going on, what impact it had on me, or if I am now frightened to go out at all, and did I need anything? Nobody called me. I called Mary Lawrence because I knew she was in the Twin Cities, and I said to her, "How are you?" And she said, "Oh, Annie, I should have called you." And we talked a long time. She was the only one I talked to on that day or the day after. There are a lot of people, and you know I love you, and I know you love me. But when these events happen, and I ask you later when I can recover, why didn't you say something? And you say, I didn't know what to say, Addie, so I thought nothing was better. I said, but your silence indicted you. Your silence meant what? However, I gained new courage after this event. I recall the first time that I went to a general chapter and I walked in the room and I saw so many sisters from around the world. I recall that. I got that picture in my mind and I knew these are my sisters, my sisters. And I drew strength from that. I knew I belonged then. I know I belong now. And I was at this last general chapter where we struggled with what to do with this whole idea of culture. And surely I know you know that I stood up for interculturality, not because we are not it, but because we need to aspire to be it. We need to change our hearts, our lives, our ways, so that we become it. And perhaps, when we understand interculturality, perhaps we'll understand how flexible we need to be so that perhaps our keynote speaker could be from Hungary and speak in her own language, or Poland. Or perhaps we could have a Japanese speaker and we all listen to interpretation, and that's comfortable for us. Perhaps we can aspire to be what we say on paper we want to be. Perhaps we can have facilitation that's strange to us, but comfortable for another culture. But perhaps we can learn new ways. We can learn how to use iPhones. I figure we can learn how to relate to one another in new ways. Let us perhaps lament that which has blocked us from being intercultural and choose courageous living day to day in small and big ways as steps toward interculturality. The path is made by walking it. And where's the hope in this for me? My hope is in Jesus. The one who called me is worthy of my trust, has brought me, taught me, never left me, and is still with me.
and the trials come on every side, I feel like going on. 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 The trials come on every hand. I feel like going on. Sing with me. I feel like going on. I feel like This is our story. This is our song. Praising our Savior all the day long. This is our story. This is our song. This is our story. This is our song. Saving my Savior all the day long. This is our story. This is our song. Praising our Savior all the day long. So let us take a moment to go deeper into this story we just heard. Now we're going to take some time to engage in some interior monologue using a stream of consciousness writing. Each of you have a small book at your table. I'm going to read some questions to you, and I would like for you to read through them silently. And afterwards, I want you to just start writing whatever is on your mind and in your heart. No filters, no judgments. Just let the thoughts flow. And when you're finished, I want you to just read those things that you've written to yourself. Read them quietly. So the questions that I want you to think about in reading is, what specific emotions or thoughts did the story invoke in me? Not somebody else, not us, in me right now. And how do my feelings relate to the broader stories of this gathering? In what ways can I personally take action to address the impact of my interactions in stories like this one? What step or steps can I implement to foster understanding and promote change that will help to create new narratives and stories?
Karen, what time did this program start? What time did this program? Okay, 'cause I thought it was 10:30.
It started at sister.
I just want to bring you up to date as to what has been happening. The paper that we got yesterday said that at 9:30 there would be a panel discussion. And there would be a prayer that started at 9. Prayer did not start at 9, it started at 10 after 9. And it was Addie Lorraine giving her history of living through racism year after year after year after year. So those of you who came in at 9:30 heard the end of her talk. And then they gave us these 3 questions to write our personal answers to, having heard Addie Lorraine's story. So Addie is saying, we are not intercultural. We want to be intercultural, but we have to understand that we are really racist in a million ways. And so what can we do to be truly intercultural, where we really love the other person in her total culturality? So that's what we're supposed to be thinking about now, answering those questions. And then the paper I have says at 9:30 there will be a panel discussion. We have not been told who will be on the panel, what their questions are, but I'm assuming they're going to be talking about these questions. But I don't know who they are. You know, one of the things that Addie said really gulls her when people call her Shawnee or people call her Vicky, because she is not those people. Those are other black women that we know. It's just, Addie's talk was just so intensely fabulous. We had so much to learn from her about what it really means to be intercultural. So I don't know what's going to happen now, but I did see 4 chairs and 4 microphones on the platform. So I'm assuming that at some time they're going to have 4 people sitting on those 4 chairs and talking to us about what it really means to be intercultural. Okay, so that's what I know. So if you have any questions for me, I won't be able to answer them.
Just wait it out.
So we just wait it out is what we'll have to wait and see what happens. But we can keep thinking about these questions. Now see, they told us yesterday that everybody at those tables had a notebook in which to write those answers. I didn't bring a notebook in which to write answers. But I think writing answers is going to make us really think, is what they want us to be doing. So.
What will it take to live into our stories with our theme today? We present to you one word: courage. Let us read the following words from the Spanish poet Maria Luisa Taylor, Inquires. From the middle to the right side will be choir 1. And the other side of the hall will be choir 2. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Side 1, courage is doing what is right. Courage it takes to speak the truth. Courage it takes to be yourself. Courage to step that out. Courage to be me. Courage is love. It brings hope. Courage gives the strength to all weaknesses. Courage is something anyone can achieve. The heart of love is courage. Don't close your eyes on the world. There are many who care for you. Face your life and its trials with a quiet mind and courageous smile. Together. Courage is my last name. Now, please turn to the members at your table and share a word or phrase that resonates with you for about 2 minutes.
I would say, just talk to somebody near you. Don't try to make a whole circle. Just get one person, because you only have 2 minutes. Okay, so find a person to talk to, and what resonates with you at this moment.
Zoom participants, feel free to share in the chat.
I can share your words in the chat if you'd like.
So if we have anything to say, we're supposed to send it into the chat, but we're not gonna have time to get to that if we just talk to one another.
Well, maybe if I,
I'm thinking about all the African American people around them, and we relate to them. And sometimes I have one hard dealing with some of our sisters. I think most of us have my I feel that there's holding back something. I don't want to say Vicky's name, but that's what I think I've experienced with her. I've tried. And I don't get a response. I've often wanted to say, what's it like to be the only black person around here? I wish she could tell us. Yeah, Addie did. I know Addie. Oh, she's autistic. But see, it's too complicated. I feel sorry for Becky. I feel that she needs some special I mean, it's a general thing, actually. It's not only colors. It's a general I think it's just part of the human condition for all of us. And I have to be able to say, okay, that's the way it is today, like you say. And I don't let it fester inside my body, my head. Except where we are as human beings can be hard. I don't like the way you feel okay, so what are you going to do about it? Okay. She's trying to research we each do our best. I think it's each of us doing our best. And we're doing our best. Keep trying, that's all.
Well, thank you so much for taking this moment for your sharing at your tables. And as we close our prayer this morning, we leave with a reading from our Constitution to lead us into the rest of the day. A reading from your sent Constitution number 13. In Jesus is our hope. In his love, our fidelity. In him we find all. As our intimate relationship with him deepens, he frees us to love more radically, becoming more like Christ. We witness to his universal love for the church and his liberating covenant with humanity. A word from your sent. Thanks be to God.
I think I need a break.
Yeah. Which one's gonna be, is this discussion gonna be on there? I don't know, if they don't tell you. They need to do the discussion stuff.
Wow. It was a very powerful, powerful prayer and sharing that we just all experienced. Addie Lorraine, I see you and I hear you. Actually, I don't see you. Where are you? I see you and I hear you. I'm going to facilitate the rest of this morning a little differently. So let me share an update on our schedule. We're going to break now.
That's what we were looking for.
Okay? I encourage you to take that time and continue to let the powerful words and experiences and emotions that we just experienced settle into your hearts. Maybe grab a partner, share what's happening in you during this time. and take the time that you need to take care of your needs. Grab coffee, bathroom breaks as needed. When we come back, we will have the panel discussion, and we will take that from 10:40, so please be back at 10:40 Central Time for our online vote. And that will take us to 11:20. And then our mingling conversations will go from 11:20 to noon, and we'll break for lunch. Does that feel good for everybody? Okay, great. A couple of announcements before I send you off, just quickly. Any birthdays in the room or online? Anybody online? Okay. Well, we won't sing happy birthday then. That's crazy. Okay. Some people have been asking about tips for the staff. All the tips are accounted for except for your housekeepers. So if you would like to leave a tip, I encourage you to leave that in your rooms upon departure. Today is our meatless day in solidarity with Laudato Si. There will be eggs for protein. So people who need high protein, there will be eggs. When we have any time, this is just a note from our Lisa over here, who's taking our notes diligently for us. Whenever you come to a mic, if you can just state your name before you speak, that would really help out with the notes. Okay, thank you. Okay, that is it. Please enjoy your break, and I will see you back here at 10. Oh, wait. There was a birthday online. Louise, I'm going to say your wrong name. You're less Benecki? Benecki, okay. Okay, Louise, we're going to sing to you. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Louise. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Enjoy your break. We'll see you back at 10:40 Central Time. Thank you all.
Are we supposed to have that? No, what is her?
She's either alone or simply for 3 years. Every time we get a facilitator that comes in and experiences the best so it's not the same person. Sarah, she's with us for second year now. This kind of happened every year. So that's why we go to St. Louis, even to Kansas City. I think we were in Chadwick.
Great.
Even though I didn't go to that event and when I come back to report, we have to report what Jesus did. I couldn't sleep because I watched it on the computer. I just never know that here or down there. So, I mean, they do this every 4 years. They have now that we're to do that instead of, either having to assembly or whatever.
I was looking at the picture.
Thank you.
Alaska, that's a folks.
Milwaukee.
How are you this morning?
So they can take it to your state.
Exactly.
When they ask for a description, she's well spoken. They ask for specifics. But they do that when we were in training.